In the quiet cul-de-sac of Willow Creek, a sleepy suburban enclave in upstate New York, the morning of April 17th, 2024, erupted into chaos. Three sleek black SUVs rolled in at dawn, their tinted windows glinting under the early spring sun. Men in crisp uniforms, earpieces snug against their temples, stepped out with a purpose that silenced the usual morning chatter of birds and sprinklers. Marissa, the nosy neighbor from across the street, dragged out a folding chair and a thermos of coffee, grinning like she'd just orchestrated a Hollywood sting. She waved at the agents with the enthusiasm of a parade marshal, oblivious to the storm she'd unleashed. What Marissa didn't know what no one in our tightly wound neighborhood knew was that the woman she'd branded a national security threat, the one she'd accused of shadowy dealings and high-tech espionage, was the very reason those agents were here. When they marched past her, straight to my wife Elena's doorstep, saluted her, and asked for orders, Marissa's coffee splattered across her star-spangled sneakers. Her face contorted into a mask of shock and dread. She just called the feds on the feds, and the fallout was about to be the stuff of legend. It all began 6 weeks earlier when Elena and I moved into Willow Creek, a place of manicured lawns, endless potlucks, and a homeowners association with rules stricter than a military base. We weren't looking for drama. Elena, fresh off 3 grueling overseas assignments, craved quiet after years of high-stakes work. She was a field coordinator for a covert branch of the Department of Homeland Security, her life a tangle of encrypted calls and classified reports. Willow Creek, with its picket fences and predictable rhythms, seemed like the perfect place to decompress. Instead, we got Marissa, the self-proclaimed guardian of the block, a woman who saw threats in every uncut blade of grass and every stranger's glance. Marissa wasn't just nosy, she was a one-woman surveillance state. With her binoculars and an unhealthy obsession with conspiracy forums, she decided Elena didn't belong. My wife's combat boots, blacked-out Jeep, and steely demeanor were red flags in Marissa's world of pastel cardigans and flagpoles. The first week was calm. We unpacked, grilled in the backyard, and kept to ourselves while Elena tapped away on her secure laptop. But Marissa was watching. By week 2, a typed note appeared in our mailbox, stamped with HOA letterhead. No satellite dishes permitted. Remove immediately. We didn't have a dish, just a disguised uplink for Elena's work. She adjusted it without a word, angling it skyward, which only fueled Marissa's suspicions. Soon, Marissa's Willow Watch Facebook group was buzzing with grainy photos of our backyard and wild theories about Elena being a foreign agent married to a clueless American. She claimed our late-night deliveries were cover for smuggling, even though they were just Amazon packages. One post speculated that Elena's encrypted calls were in a foreign tongue. A few neighbors humored her, but most rolled their eyes. Elena found it darkly funny. "I've been tailed by cartels and bugged by spies," she said one night, cleaning her service pistol with a smirk. But a suburban mom with a dachshund named Liberty? That's a first. Marissa wasn't joking. She dug deeper, somehow tracing an old license plate from Elena's Jeep to a retired DHS agent's name. Her imagination ran wild, and she posted that she'd confirmed Elena's ties to a government black op. Then she crossed a line. She filed an anonymous tip with Homeland Security, alleging encrypted tech, military gear, and suspicious nighttime activity at our address. The report was so detailed it triggered an internal probe. When Elena saw the alert pop up on her own system flagged under her alias, she froze. "They filed a threat on me," she whispered jaw tight. "In my own agency. DHS protocol demanded action. Even baseless claims against an agent required a formal review." Marissa, clueless, strutted around in a patriotic scarf, bragging that she'd thwarted a terrorist plot. Meanwhile, Elena prepared with surgical precision, gathering her clearance documents and briefing the inspection chief. On that fateful morning, the SUVs arrived, and the neighborhood held its breath. Marissa live-streamed, whispering, "They're here to take down the threat," at 1:42. But the agents ignored her, saluting Elena at our door. "Ma'am, per directive, shall we proceed?" the lead agent asked. Marissa's stream cut off as her jaw hit the pavement. Inside, the inspection was a formality. Agent Torres, a grizzled veteran who'd worked with Elena before, reviewed her credentials with a wry grin. The uplink? Registered. The gear? Agency issued. This is the cleanest review I've ever done, Torres said, shaking his head. Your neighbor's living in a Tom Clancy novel. Outside, Marissa paced, muttering about deep cover as her audience dwindled. The agents left without fanfare, but Marissa's paranoia only grew. She posted that the feds had been bought off, her followers now just a handful of bots and her cat's Instagram. But Marissa's tip had consequences she couldn't fathom. False reports on active agents triggered secondary probes, and Elena had the authority to trace the complaint. The evidence was damning. Doctored screenshots, xenophobic rants, and a pattern of targeting minorities and outsiders in the neighborhood. DHS opened a review of Marissa's online activity, uncovering a trail of harassment stretching back years. A sheriff's deputy delivered a restraining order. No more spying, no more false tips, no contact with us. Marissa, trembling with rage, vowed to fight on, but her bravado was crumbling. Then came the bombshell. Elena's system flagged a failed attempt to access a secure DHS portal from an IP address 3 houses down Marissa's. It was a clumsy move, but it escalated her from nuisance to cyber threat. Forensics revealed a digital cesspool, conspiracy sites, doctored videos of our house, and a manifesto titled Operation Suburb Shield. Marissa had planned to go public with a media blitz, complete with fake emails and a pie chart claiming our mailbox was a covert signal hub. DHS tagged her as a hostile civilian actor, and the legal wheels turned. Elena didn't gloat. She attended an HOA meeting, calmly laying out the facts: the false report, the cyber breach, the harassment. The room was silent as she sat down, her quiet authority shattering Marissa's spell. Neighbors apologized. Some even asked Elena to join the HOA board. She declined with a dry, "I stick to real intelligence work." Marissa, barred from a meeting, sent a desperate 30-page PDF to the neighborhood, circling our patio furniture as comm devices. It backfired spectacularly. The HOA suspended her, the sheriff tightened her restrictions, and DHS issued a memo debunking her claims. The final act came late one night when Marissa, dressed like a budget ninja, crept toward our garage to tamper with our network box. A thermal camera caught every move. Elena filed a classified report, and by morning, federal agents seized Marissa's devices. She hurled a lawn ornament and screamed about tyranny, but the agents were unfazed. Her files revealed unhinged plans to frame herself as a martyr. Charged with false reporting, cyber trespass, and tampering, Marissa faced a legal reckoning. In court, her citizen defense collapsed under the weight of evidence. Neighbors testified about her years of harassment, and the judge sentenced her to house arrest, probation, and a hefty fine. We moved soon after to a secluded farmhouse in Vermont, trading HOAs for open fields. On our last day in Willow Creek, we left an owl statue in the yard with a plaque, "Ever watchful." A week later, an unsigned letter arrived with a photo of our old house, circled in red, and a shaky note: "I never meant harm." Elena filed it without a word. Marissa's spotlight had faded, but her kind never truly vanishes. What would you do if a neighbor turned your life into a conspiracy? Should people like Marissa face harsher penalties, or are they just misguided? Can a community heal after paranoia tears it apart? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories that'll keep you on edge.